Welcome. Today's video is how to deal with the mail message and jobs that haven't printed from the previous evening. So you came into the office first thing in the morning, you bring up SBC, you see a bright red mail message on your screen, and you go to the printer and none of your end of day reports printed. We get these calls pretty often at the office here, so I wanted to go through exactly how you handle this. So first thing that I want you to do is go and deal with your mail message, because your mail message may actually tell you that something else has occurred. So you can either click on the mail message in the lower left-hand corner of your screen, or you can go to the mail program. And the mail program is loaded in menu selection T, your general files, and then 4, your miscellaneous files, and then G, mail file. So when I go into the mail file, I'm going to go into the create or alter, and as I said, I could have clicked on the red button and it would have taken me right here. And the message at the top is telling me what the problem is. So 90% of the time when people get the mail message, it means that your end of day didn't run, your scheduler is inactive, and it pops a message up so that you're aware of this. We try to put this up on everyone's screen so that whoever comes into the office first thing can handle it and deal with the situation before anybody starts new tickets for the day. So the scheduling program has been inactive for at least a certain number of hours. Please consult the batch scheduling file and restart the batch program. So this is telling me where the problem is. I want to get rid of this message so my mail message goes away. So there are a number of keystrokes that I can click that show at the bottom of the screen. I'm going to use F8 to initialize. So I press my F8 key, verify init of the mail file. I'm going to say yes, and my message went away. And once I hit the escape key, I'm going to go back to the main menu and my mail message is gone. Now I need to go and deal with this. So we need to look at a couple of places. The first thing I'm going to look is in my batch management. So I'm going to go to V as in Victor, and then number 2, my batch scheduling, and I'm going to look to see when exactly the job stopped. Now, your job can stop at any time, whether someone came in here and intentionally deactivated the batch and forgot to reactivate it, whether you did a reboot on your system or you had a power outage. The system tries to force your V2 batch, your scheduler, to come up active. However, if the first item in the list happens to be overdue, the system will not bring the scheduler active, and this is why. We've had customers who have gotten a virus on their system, and if you look down at the clock after they've rebooted the computer, if they haven't fixed their virus, it can say that today is January 1st of 1973. If we were to bring the batch scheduler active and the items in the scheduler are overdue, you could run your end of year 37 times. And if somebody didn't catch it, you would be in a panic trying to either restore data or trying to stop the jobs from running. So when SBC comes back up, whether it's from a regular reboot during the day or whether it's from a power outage overnight and you bring it up the next morning, the system is going to try to activate this batch, but it's going to look at the date and time of the first scheduled item. If that first scheduled item is overdue, it's going to leave the batch inactive. So if you see in the upper left-hand corner of my screen, it tells me that my batch is inactive. Now, everything that I run at night didn't run last night. So my Activate V1 batch didn't run, my backup didn't run, my daily print didn't run. So if no one has created any tickets on the system so far today, and none of the information has been updated, I can really just activate this and allow all of these jobs to run. I might want to call around, make sure that nobody goes through and creates a ticket while I'm running the end of day. Keep in mind, some of your end of days have things like buy-offs, so all of a sudden everybody's kicked out to a main menu. So if you are going to activate this, you want to make sure that nobody's doing anything. Nobody's touching the computers. Once your daily print, your backup, whatever was going to run, does run, then you can go ahead and let everybody back onto the system and they can go about their day. Notice that my daily print goes through my batch number 5, so Once I activate this, I would want to hit the escape key. I would want to go into number 1, batch number 5, make sure that it's active and make sure that it's empty, meaning that everything ran. You should, once you activate this, hear your printer start to run with your end of day reports, and then you should be able to catch up with everything at that point. Now, there will be times when whoever it is that handles this position didn't get in until after everybody else. Tickets have already been created and things like that. So instead of just activating the batch, we want to reschedule everything. I'm going to hit my escape key and I'm going to go back into my scheduler. I'm going to hit the enter key at my batch number. Notice it's inactive and all of my stuff is overdue. So what I want to do is I want to reschedule these items to run tonight, and then I'll get yesterday's data and today's data all combined into one set of reports. If you'll notice at the bottom of the screen, you've got a number of buttons, one of which is the reschedule button. So I'm going to click on reschedule, and it's going to give me a message, enter the record ID that you would like to reschedule, or enter a -1 to reschedule all past due events. So if I just wanted to reschedule one particular item, customers occasionally will reschedule their force activate of their A4 batch if it's the last day of the month and things like that. So you might have a legitimate reason to come in and just reschedule one item. If you're doing one item, you choose the record number on the left-hand side of the screen. Because I've missed my end of day and then I missed running it first thing in the morning and people have already created new tickets for the day, I'm going to enter a -1 and reschedule all my past due events. So I type in a -1 on my keyboard, I press the enter key, and it's going to give me a "Are you sure that this is what you want to do?" message. I'm going to say yes, and notice that now my calendar events have changed and my next item is scheduled to run about a half an hour from now. So because everything is now good to go, and I've checked my V1 batch to make sure that nothing's held up in there, I'm going to hit my A to activate, verify activate yes, and I'm good to go. Now, if you are the manager of this system and you choose not to teach someone how to do this, if your mail message pops up, you can teach your people at least to go in and deactivate the batch. So my mail message comes up in the morning. The first guy in the morning, he happens to be my warehouse person, or he is the manager, but he does not know how to do the steps that I've just instructed him to do. You want him to deactivate your process batch so no new tickets happen, so that whoever's job it is to handle this situation, when they get in, they can take care of it and perhaps run yesterday's reports and get those on a separated from today's information. So in that case, I want to train this employee to go into the A menu, A point of sale, to go into number 4, invoice processing status, enter the batch number here, and deactivate the batch. Now my batch is already inactive, but all I needed to do was click this button here in the center, the deactivate button, or I can hit a D as in David on my keyboard, and it will deactivate this batch. Once it's inactive, you're going to see information like you see in the center of the screen here. You're going to see tickets start to accrue in this list, and once the end of day for yesterday is printed and reset, then whoever's job it is to come in and fix this will want to come in and activate this batch as well. Now, if you do this and there's going to be a long period of time between when the store opens and when the manager comes in that can handle fixing the end of day from yesterday, you may actually want to activate this batch for F10 tickets only. And what that means is that the hold tickets and quotes and special orders will process because they're not updating any of your cash drawer reports, they're not updating any of your sales reports, but then the guys can take a call, put a ticket on hold, and then be able to bring it up and perhaps either finalize it at a later time and it'll then stay here, or add more to it and then continue to put it on hold. So in that case, I'm going to teach the employee to come in here and deactivate the batch first thing in the morning, and then once they've deactivated it, hit the activate button enter the number of stores or store number, and then process F10 tickets only. We want to set that to a Y as in yes. Now you'll notice that my ticket didn't go anywhere because it's a finalized invoice and I don't want to process that into my sales figures. However, if I were to create a hold ticket, it would come in here, it would process, and then my employees are able to bring up their hold tickets again to either access them at a later time or then finalize them when the customer comes in to pick up the materials. If you have any questions on any of this, please call SBC at 800-829-4722 or email us at sbctraining@autolog.com. Thank you so much.